Welcome to the newest edition of the DFO podcast. What we're going to be doing in these collective episodes over the next 50 weeks is jumping through every state and what they offer. And we'll probably stick closer to deer hunting. We'll go over a little bit of the other seasons in some of them. The order I'm going to be doing it in is the order they joined the union instead of alphabetical order or anything. I like to do things just different, so that's where I'm going to be going. So this will be the inaugural episode of it. It'll run for the next 50 weeks. They will come out on Thursdays. So each one will be titled basically what state they're in. So some of the things we're going to go over in each and every episode is when they joined the union. Obviously, it'll be in the order of when they did by the date. What they offer when it comes to public land hunting, how much property they have, if it's an over-the-counter, if it's a draw, their deer density, if we can locate it in the different states, just what their license costs, just different things I want to try and go over with every state, because as I'm learning, I want to try to educate other people, because I'm learning this as I do the research for each one. If you know more about what I'm doing than I'm doing on those states, then reach out and let us know the things are correct in them, because I'm finding everything I can. Some of the stuff can be a little bit confusing, so we're going to go from there. And that's how this is going to work over the next 50 weeks. Hope y'all enjoy it. I've researched several of them so far, and I enjoyed myself trying to learn more about each state. Thanks. Delta Lodge Outdoors. This is your view of every state from more like a 30,000 viewpoint. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1 of this series. The first state we're going to be jumping into is Delaware. Like I said, this can be a weekly airing episodic series, whatever, of each state and their hunting regulations when it pertains mainly to deer hunting. Some of a few we'll dive into some of their other seasons and stuff. Sorry if you're getting some background, my mic keeps moving. We're going to dive into some of the other stuff on some states. The first one we're doing is Delaware. The date it joined the Union was December the 7th, 1787, so very first state. And like I said in our intro to these, I'm going to be doing them in order they joined the Union, just because I like to do things a little different. Everybody does stuff in alphabetical, reverse alphabetical, or whatever. I just figured I'd do it this way. That way it wouldn't be complete mayhem of skipping around, and there was some rhythm and rhyme and reason into the method. So that's what we're doing here. Like I said, the first one we're going to dive into is Delaware. I'm going to hit the high points. Some of the stuff you look at, it says they have 61,000, some says 68,000 acres of, so 61 to 68,000 acres, depending on which one you look at, of DNREC, which is the Delaware's WMA management property. And they also have what they call the water group, offers like 70,000 acres. I didn't dive into information on the water group or specifics on the public land, but they've got a decent amount, about 4.5% of the state, depending on what you look at, is, public accessible. They provide, I'm kind of reading over my notes, so the deer populations increased and the herds range expanded as habitat was restored, because they hunted them down pretty, low, and had to go back after it. And it remained illegal to harvest any deer until 1954. So 103 years, because they banned it in 1841, and it was illegal until 1954 when the population had rebounded. It took 103 years. So they pretty much wiped them out. And the first 3 days of that season, they killed 505 deer, and it was a 3-day either sex. Since then, the deer populations remained high. Unlike other states, Delaware has maintained an either sex season since the hunt start. They provide a lot of opportunities. They average about 15,000 head of white-tailed deer a year. Not too shabby. About 10% of the land in Delaware is state-owned, is what this is saying. I've read another one that says 4.5%. That's probably the two combined, the 61 to 68, and the 70. That's where you get the 10%. So not bad to find an area to hunt on. They have pretty good seasons when it comes down to what they offer for deer. Their archery season starts September the 1st and runs to February the 2nd, so they have a pretty long archery season. And crossbow runs the same as regular archery. Muzzleloader is basically the 11th through the 20th, and it may fluctuate for each year. I don't know if these are hard set dates. I would say September the 1st is a hard set date. The others I would have to dive more into, but this is just, like I said, an overview from like a broad point. It's not going to be micro focused. This is just to get you some basic information. So if you're like, hey, I might be interested in this, then you pick it up from there. They have a muzzleloader season. Then their general firearm has to be straight wall, but their muzzleloader is October 11th through 20th, then January 27th through February 2nd. Statewide is firearm, which is straight wall firearm, is November 15th, 24th, and January 18th through 26th. Then you have some other management zone hunts and everything. They have your over-the-counter license. That's what makes it nice. You have over-the-counter. You get a non-resident license. That's 16 and older is $199.50. So say $200. Then each additional antlerless deer tag is $200 after that. So you can literally buy extra tags, from my understanding of it. Their herd has rebounded over the years. They offer decent amount of hunting land, and it's kind of an overlooked area. They actually have some pretty decent stuff if you look in their what's been registered in Boone and Crockett. But I also know that that's, not everybody puts their deer in Boone and Crockett, and not everybody reports deer. I know personally some 160. This is just, just tell you how it is in Louisiana. I know personally several 160s and one slight over 200, so 3 to 5 deer in the 165 to 200 range that nobody really knows they've been killed other than a handful. So I don't put a lot of stake and stock into what people put out there in Boone and Crockett. I kind of, they're going to keep it a lot quieter, but Delaware's got a few deer that have slipped out in the last few years, especially with everybody doing podcasts and people learning of areas. It's got some decent deer. Is it where I would go to, I'm going to knock down the next Boone and Crockett? Probably not, but anything's possible. Overall, they have pretty lax, $200 for your tags is not bad. Early season, so September 1st, and actually with it, that'd be a nice cool weather hunt if you're from the south. I mean, September hunts are hot for us, so that'd be a pretty cool little, not super hot hunt to go dive into. Overall, not crazy expensive. Just depends on how far you have to travel. From, like I said, the research I've shown there is they've got upwards of 10% of the property is state-owned, where public land you can hunt. Not huge, but not bad. Overall, for the size of the state, 10%, 130,000 acres is not bad. So it's a quiet little state that you can slip in and kill a deer in if you set it up right. And they have different types of topography and terrain there. I mean, you have some hilly area, you have some you can get into some swamp stuff. It's a overall unique place to hunt that is definitely going to go on a list of possibilities over the next few years. I never thought I'd be a northern state hunter, but it might be one I look into. It's a pretty simple and cut and dry process, and like I said, what I like about it is the early season, September the 1st hunts. I would not want to hunt anything after the first year because it's probably going to be super cold, but anything September I think would be really cool to go hunt. Obviously, if you're born after January 1st, 1967, you have to have your basic hunter's education course. Registered motor vehicles used to access designated wildlife areas are owned by managers. You have to display a conservation access pass, so I don't see a price on that in what I have, but they probably charge for that. Like I said, this is just a little basic overview we're going to do on each state. As we're diving into the states, if there's something more, reach out to us, ask us. We'll try and add to it, and we look forward to interacting with y'all. And any state that you're from, reach out to us and correct us if we missed something. If you want to jump on and just do some with us for your state, let us know. Like I said, these are just gonna be little short podcasts, a 30,000 foot overview. I'm not diving down deep close because some of the states will be a little closer. Some will be just outlier views. So it's going to change between each state. Like I said, this one's more of a 30,000. The majority of them be like that. Now Louisiana, Oklahoma, Mississippi, states I've hunted or like where I have points. Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, places like that where I've done my research to know. I'll know a little more. Sorry about that. Ran into a technical difficulty. I somehow hit a button. What I was saying was the states that I've done the research on that I plan on hunting, I'll have way more in depth on those. These are just most of the others will be open, just generalizations of stuff. I look forward to learning a little more about each one. Like I said, like this one, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know they had as much public land as they do. That was a surprise to me. Did not know that their season was kind of as open as it is, especially being a northern state. No disrespect to northerners, but when it comes to hunting, I'm kind of biased on that viewpoint. So open my eyes, and the pricing on the tags is not bad. For an out of state, you're looking at $200 plus a few little hit charges, but 200 plus your other tag, like that's pretty cheap. Just to give you an example, out of state for Oklahoma, where I'm at, $700. Out of state for Louisiana is $300-400, I think. I could be wrong. I know Mississippi's like $3 something. Arkansas is around $400. Kansas, it costs you between $400 and $500 over. Iowa's like closer to $700, I think. So, not bad. And like I said, each state's different. We'll dive more into each one as we go. And this is just the first one. Hopefully the podcast get better. I apologize. I'm usually better at just being able to like talk about it. This flipping over, trying to, because I get sidetracked on it and want to ooh and ah and add. That's why the other podcasts stay the same. And this is its own thing, so I don't overlap so much bullshit into them. Thank y'all for your time. This one is Delaware. The next one that comes out will be Pennsylvania. And then I'm going to hit y'all with some crazy information. And we all learned this in school. The first 4 states, Delaware, Pennsylvania, then New Jersey. The 4th one got me. I was not expecting the 4th state that joined the union to be what it was. And we all learned this as kids. I'm 39. I probably learned it when I was 12, maybe younger. I don't remember, so 10 to 12. But Georgia being the 4th state really, got me because I wasn't expecting Georgia as number 4. I don't know why, because I've learned that. But the first 4 episodes that hit will be Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Georgia. Then we'll go into, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maryland, South Carolina. So your top 8, are 2 southern states, so theirs hit a little bit different. South Carolina, if I'm correct on that, I haven't done the research. If I'm correct on their rules, I think it'll surprise a lot of people. So I look forward to, feedback on these episodes and what more y'all want out of them and everything. So look forward to it. Thanks. Julius Craig, Delta Flage Outdoors. This is your States Edition podcast. Dropping one a week for the next 50 weeks, dropping every Thursday.